It's crazy. It's crazy. Just when you think things can't get worse, they keep seeming to get worse when it comes to this Kathy Engelbert, Adam Silver, gambling scandal situation that is going on. Now we have former NBA official Tim Donaghy, who had a Netflix special, all types of stuff. He was exposed for betting on games. He was conspiring with other NBA referees to not make calls for Allen Iverson and certain players in the league on certain games. This dude was exposed. He did time in prison.
Okay, so Tim Donaghy, remember him, the ex-NBA ref? Well, he just dropped a massive bombshell. He's claiming there's a huge cover-up coming straight from the top, implicating Adam Silver himself. Seriously, he's saying the NBA commissioner is involved in a scandal far bigger than anyone ever imagined. And get this, an FBI agent who worked on Donaghy's own case even texted him, basically saying, they're not going to be able to sweep this under the rug like they did with my case. This isn't just about a few bad actors anymore. It's about the very top, and it's shaking up trust in basketball, spilling over into everything, even the WNBA.
All of sports, not just the NBA, is sitting on a massive house of cards. And I look at someone like Adam Silver, and I look at all of these commissioners, and I wonder, like, can legalized gambling be restrained in any fashion? Have they gone too far? Can the toothpaste be put back in the bottle? I think we have no choice but to do that. The toothpaste has to go back in the bottle. Our lawmakers are gonna
Listen, the numbers here are just wild. Honestly, they're terrifying. We're talking about over 35 gambling allegations that have surfaced during Adam Silver's time as commissioner. What started as a few isolated incidents has exploded into a massive, widespread crisis. Now, the FBI is fully investigating, trying to get more people to cooperate. This isn't just a small rule break. It's a deep-rooted problem that's gotten worse every single year. All these accusations paint a picture of a league completely entangled in some sketchy dealings, pushing its integrity right to the edge.
Guy that was locked up, referee Tim Donaghy, who was betting on games, exposing Adam Silver, the NBA, and Kathy Engelbert are next. They might have to step down. People are calling for their jobs. This is crazy. Let's get right into it. Welcome to Keep the Vision. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, share the channel, hit that bell notification, hype the video. All right, now let's take a look at this here. We're gonna start with Shams, and where he says there has been over 35 gambling allegations over Adam Silver's tenure.
Now, this whole mess is hanging heavy over the WNBA and its commissioner, Kathy Engelbert. Get this, they're supposed to finalize a massive collective bargaining agreement by October 31 SD. And guess what? That's the exact same day Engelbert is set to meet with federal investigators. You couldn't make up worse timing. People are already calling for both her and Adam Silver to step down, as this crisis threatens to swallow both leagues whole. You can feel the insane pressure weighing on Engelbert right now, and it raises serious questions about the WNBA's stability, especially given how popular it's become thanks to stars like Caitlin Clark. Her entire future could really be affected by this.
legalized gambling be restrained in any fashion? Have they gone too far? Can the toothpaste be put back in the bottle? I think we have no choice but to do that. The toothpaste has to go back in the bottle. Our lawmakers are gonna have to stand up here. And we can't allow people like Stephen A. Smith and others who anytime we make a move towards instilling morality back in society through our law.
Now, let's talk about Terry Rozier, for example. The NBA investigated him, and even though they labeled it as operational betting behavior surrounding a specific game, he was still allowed to keep playing. Adam Silver himself said they frankly couldn't find anything, and Rozier even handed over his phone to cooperate. But now, With these new FBI allegations, he's suddenly been placed on administrative leave. That drastic change really highlights a major issue with how the NBA conducts its own investigations. It makes you wonder, can they not, or do they simply won't, dig deep enough to uncover the real truth when it's their own league on the line? And that just makes everyone even more skeptical.
Start with Shams, and where he says there has been over 35 gambling allegations over Adam Silver's tenure. Now, you have to remember the NBA, WNBA, they're partnering with all types of betting companies from FanDuel, Underdog Sports, all types of stuff. Let's take a listen here.
Numbers. A year and a half ago, we had about 5 co-conspirators and defendants. A year and a half later, we're at over 30. So about 35 in total now. So, I mean, I'm just looking at math. I don't know where we're going to be in a year and a half. I don't know where we're going to be.
What's crazy is that Tim Donaghy's testimony actually reveals a disturbing and historical pattern. He says straight up that during his own scandal, former Commissioner David Stern managed to completely cover it up, making Donaghy look like just one bad apple. Donaghy also claims the FBI initially wanted to indict 6 or 7 other people, but the investigation was shut down from the very top. He believes it might be because a key legal figure from that time later ended up working for the NBA. According to him, that past cover-up only made the corruption bolder, allowing it to fester and grow into the massive problem we're witnessing right now.
An endeavor as important as sports. And you can, it's just entertainment. No, sports played a central role in instilling Christian values. And in the late 1800s, when the YMCA, the Young Men's Christian Association, organized sports, when Dr. James Naismith created basketball, it was intended to disciple young men in Christian values. And we don't think there's any importance to protecting that. How else are we going to disciple young men in masculinity?
Look, this current scandal, involving federal investigators and claims of systemic game fixing, has raised the stakes to an unbelievable level for the WNBA. Especially with how rapidly the league's popularity is growing, fueled by incredible talents like Caitlin Clark, the integrity of the game means everything. Even the slightest hint of doubt about the league's fairness could completely shake its foundation, destroy fan trust, and halt future growth in its tracks. This isn't just an NBA issue. It's a direct threat to all the legitimacy the WNBA has worked so hard to build, and to the careers of its biggest stars. It's creating an uneasy, unsettling silence that's spreading throughout the entire league.
There, and there's no doubt the FBI, and a source told me today, they're seeing who else will cooperate here. Chuck, I'm just going to go with the numbers. A year and a half ago.
And the FBI is on it. And Tim Donaghy also said that someone from the FBI text messaged him and said that Adam Silver, the NBA, they will not be able to get away with this one. Look, man, this is nasty work. This is nasty work. Take a look at this.
And Terry Rozier was allowed to keep playing after an NBA investigation ruled that there was no NBA rules violated. What do you make of that decision now amid the...
Adam Silver's public comments on all this have been absolutely slammed, seen as defensive and evasive, like he's trying to dodge responsibility. He claims the NBA has been working with law enforcement for over 2 years, which basically sounds like he's passing the buck to the feds. He argues that they have extraordinary powers that a league office simply doesn't possess. But here's the thing, that plea for government help really just sounds like an admission that the league itself isn't capable of handling the problem. It comes off as a desperate attempt to distance himself from a worsening crisis. And the public isn't buying it. They see it as a complete failure of leadership, not a solution.
You want to know why these guys, these young men are so feminized now? And they're all comfortable wearing their hair in ponytails? This is part of the reason it's hard for me to watch the NBA. Half the players, that's an exaggeration, but 20% of them look like they just left the beauty shop with their mama. We're not instilling a muscular Christianity anymore through sports. We're instilling feminism We're instilling the love of money and greed.
Some analysts are now saying that the entire sports world, not just basketball, is teetering on a massive house of cards. They point to how legalized gambling has exploded, with leagues now directly partnering with betting companies. It's like we've pushed the boundaries way, way too far. Can we even put this toothpaste back in the bottle? Many believe it's an irreversible step. It's created an environment where the temptation for corruption is simply too great, fundamentally transforming athletic competition from pure sport into something that feels manipulated, more spectacle than competition.
I text messaged him and said that Adam Silver, the NBA, they will not be able to get away with this one. Look, man, this is nasty work. This is nasty work. Take a look at this.
And Terry Rozier was allowed to keep playing after an NBA investigation ruled that there was no NBA rules violated. What do you make of that decision now amid the FBI's allegations against him?
So what happened was, because bets were placed through legalized legal betting companies, they picked up aberrational behavior around a particular game.
And Jason Whitlock is going all in, arguing that Adam Silver simply can't survive this. He even called him Asterisk the worst commissioner in sports we've ever had. Asterisk Whitlock's main criticism is that Silver has run a league that stopped holding players accountable after the Donald Sterling incident, essentially handing over control to the athletes. He suggests that this kind of weak leadership created the perfect environment for this entire scandal to unfold. In Whitlock's view, Silver remaining in charge just isn't sustainable, especially with the league now facing its biggest credibility crisis ever, one that's shaking the very foundation of professional basketball.
Feminism. We're instilling the love of money and greed. We're promoting rap music and degeneracy. This is what sports are instilling now. The promotion of greed, and gambling goes right along with that. And I know that I occasionally gamble, and I know I used to gamble a lot. And so I'm not distancing myself from the problem. I'm just acknowledging that there is a problem and there is a price our society pays for.
The thing is, this isn't even the first time gambling has completely rocked American sports. Historically, we've seen plenty of major scandals. Think back to college basketball in the 1950s with Madison Square Garden, Boston College in the late 70s, Tulane in the 80s, and Arizona State with Headache Smith in the 90s. Netflix has even made documentaries about some of these incidents. This history proves that corruption in sports isn't anything new, but now, with the digital age and the widespread legalization of gambling, the potential scale of corruption has been amplified like never before.
October 31st, the same day. It's not a good look, man. People are calling for both the WNBA and NBA commissioners' jobs now. This is crazy. It's wild. Let's take a look at what ex-NBA official Tim Donaghy had to say about this.
Is made. Adam Silver, the commissioner of the NBA, was on Pat McAfee. You think that was intentional?
Absolutely. I think he was trying to, get ahead of the fire a little bit and talk about that they need to get gambling under control. And I think that he's going to continue to try to figure out a way to, to put a lid on this, but it's going to be very difficult.
What's made this entire situation so much harder to police is the rise of individual player prop bets in modern sports gambling. Unlike betting on who wins the game, a player can easily influence a prop bet. Imagine this. They could claim a stubbed toe and sit out, which would instantly affect all the over-under bets without actually changing the game's final score. This kind of subtle, widespread manipulation represents a brand new frontier for corruption, creating endless opportunities for shady activity that leagues can barely detect, let alone prevent.
He's not solely to blame, but I think he's the worst commissioner in sports we've ever had, and that this is happening on his watch in a league that to me has completely went away from disciplining the players. And this all started with, and I hate to go here, but it's just factual, with Donald Sterling. They turned the league over to the players. The media cooperated in turning the league over to the players and thinking that, well, you gotta really be harsh with Donald Sterling and blah, blah, blah. What the man said in his private life to me, and I said it in real time. This isn't me, switching my opinion.
What's truly crazy is the massive conflict of interest sitting right at the heart of all this. The NBA and WNBA aren't just tolerating gambling. They're actively partnering with major betting companies like FanDuel and Underdog Sports. This direct financial connection, where betting itself has become a revenue stream, completely undermines their ability to remain impartial and properly police against game fixing. They're essentially profiting from the very activity that's now threatening to destroy the league's entire integrity.
I just received a text message from one of the FBI agents that worked my case, and he basically said that they're not going to be able to cover this up like they covered up my case.
Wow. Wow. Yeah, it might be over. It might be over for Adam Silver, which means it definitely will be over for Kathy Engelbert, because if they're coming for the WNBA next, they don't come until they got you. They don't come until they got you. So this is bad. This is really bad.
What do you mean by that? So what's the difference between this case and your case?
I think the David Stern was.
So, could load management actually be part of an even bigger, more subtle scam? One commentator joked about it, but honestly, the idea hits differently now with all these gambling allegations. If players can simply sit out games or dial back their effort, it creates a perfect opportunity to manipulate betting markets, especially those individual player prop bets. The big question is this: with player empowerment combined with the enormous financial incentives of gambling, are we staring at a perfect storm for widespread, almost undetectable manipulation that's fundamentally undermining athletic competition?